So my folks moved down to Georgia when I was 8. So I grew up in the Northeast, New York and Massachusetts, but I really consider myself a Southerner. I grew up in East Cobb County, went to elementary, middle, and high school there, and then went to Georgia Tech for mechanical engineering. So I've really been in the South most of my life.
Yeah, there you go, Georgia Tech, go Jackets. Yeah. So being going to school for mechanical engineering, did you already know, I mean, I guess with that degree, what did you intend to do? Did you know exactly the career path you wanted to take?
I did a cooperative program at Georgia Tech. So basically I worked off and on every other quarter at an engineering firm. And I knew I didn't want to necessarily do engineering, but I was really interested in technology, specifically technology in buildings. So I got to learn direct digital control systems and learn about what they meant, what they did, and how to estimate them. And that kind of set me on a path into construction. I've wanted to be an architect when I was younger. I ended up pursuing engineering for a couple different reasons, but I love building construction and I love technology. And I graduated. I went to work for a company called Johnson Controls, and there I worked for them for about 21 years, really implementing multiple technology systems in buildings.
Wow. So what was it specifically about technology in buildings that really got you excited and sparked your passion?
I think as my career progressed at Johnson, I really liked the idea of having a really great experience up front within pre-construction, working with clients and delighting them through that, and then bringing it all the way through to a finished product. And really, you really need to have a good handle on all the building technologies and a good knowledge of how to make sure everything works together, so that at the end of the day, you have a finished product that the customer is happy with. And really, that's what I did at Johnson Controls, and that's really what Symphony is all about: is creating a great experience for a client with multiple building technologies. So at the end of the day, you've got a building that works.
Absolutely. I mean, being able to grow in your role with Johnson and then ultimately leading you to Symphony and being able to bring all of that together. And reflecting back, Matt, you said initially when you were younger, being an architect was something that sparked your interest. So why did you want to be an architect, and how did you make that shift into what you're doing today?
Quite frankly, the reason why I like architecture, I like the art side of it, the beauty of it, and I love the creativity part of being an architect. And you can do that as an engineer, and that's why I chose engineering. You tend to be able to have a better chance of supporting a family as an engineer. It's as I learned from talking with many architecture students and professionals, it's a hard road, and it's hard to make a good living.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, having different priorities kind of shift over time. And so then being able to lead you to where you are today. And so, Matt, from then making that shift from Johnson Controls into Symphony, how did you become aware of Symphony, and kind of what was your journey to joining the team?
So I've known Symphony since about 2014, and I've known the folks at Symphony for much longer than that. A number of the partners at Symphony, I know are one of them in particular was an installation manager at Johnson Controls. He and I worked very closely together on our large projects, specifically at Hartsfield-Jackson. So there's kind of a friendship and a trust that had already been built. One other partner has been we've been working together since 2009 when I needed a access control solution for a large project I sold at the Atlanta airport, the international terminal. So I've known the folks at Symphony for a long time. And then, recently over the last 2 years, I've been looking to make a shift into a smaller firm that actually acts as a true integrator, a true vendor agnostic integrator, where we're really looking at what makes sense for the client. And we're not really pressured by having to push certain technology or a certain product line as part of the solution. We can actually truly come in and help the client in a consultative way pick out what's going to be the perfect fit for them. And that really is attractive to me. And the other thing about Symphony, I wanted to work for a smaller firm because I believe you can make meaningful change very quickly when you don't have layers of bureaucracy, and you can be very nimble. There are a lot of advantages working for a large company, access to resources, and we all know those things but it's really hard to turn a large ship around quickly. And so that's what attracted me to a smaller firm. And I looked at a lot of different firms over the last couple of years, and Symphony was the right fit. And like I said, we've been talking about this for about 18 months or so. So I'm happy to be here. It's what I ultimately wanted to do, and it'll be the next chapter of my career.
Absolutely. And I mean, it makes sense too, making that shift, coming from such a large company and then shifting to a much smaller one, like you're saying, being more nimble, and just kind of in a different avenue, something that you've already pursued and were already passionate about, but being able to do it in a new way. Yeah.
That's right.
So Matt, obviously one of our taglines here at Symphony is create technology harmony, the name of our podcast, and just what we do as a symphony. So for you specifically, what would you say creating technology harmony means?
I think it means stepping back and looking back, almost like like the tagline, like a conductor of an orchestra, and utilizing the skill sets and the strengths of each individual member of that orchestra, and making them work together. And creating something beautiful. And that's what we really want to do. I mean, that's what everybody really wants to do in this industry, is create delight for your client. And I think having the knowledge, having the resources, and being able to come at it from a very consultative, neutral, vendor agnostic way, we can create something that is something that we can really be proud of, that our client's going to love from the start of the process or the project to the very end. And that's what we want to do, is create delight from start to finish.
I love that. Creating delight. Yep, for sure. So Matt, before we wrap, just curious as to, can you share like a fun fact about you, maybe something outside or inside the world of engineering, just any kind of fun little tidbits about you?
About me?
Yeah.
It won't be about engineering. I love to draw. I love to sketch. Since I was a little kid, I've just loved art, and that's a passion of mine. So I think that's what I'll leave you with.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, the idea that you get to, it might not be in the exact way you might have thought of looked like, but being able to pursue that passion down this road through your whole life, through your career. So Matt, if someone wanted to learn more about you, where might they do that?
I'm probably the only one on LinkedIn. So Matthew Musheno, Musheno. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Matthew Musheno on LinkedIn. And you can reach me at matthew.musheno, Musheno, at symphonyts.com.